Good evening, everyone, and thank you for making time. Thank you to Clean Start, Thomas, and Gary for the opportunity. I'm going to walk you through the Empower Energy Electrobank opportunity, something that I don't know that I've got quite the passion, longevity that Kevin does, but certainly something I feel very passionate about. So one of the key issues that is, I think, very much in everyone's mind over the last 12 to 24 months are the PG&E power shutoffs. This is something that's unprecedented in my 45-year some odd experience with PG&E, where now we're not sure if we're going to have reliable power. And you can see by the red here, a lot of other folks aren't going to be very sure either. And I'm dialing in from Davis, and even in Davis, we're getting notified that we don't have reliable power. Now, one of the outcomes of that is that you can see on the bottom right, and this is from basically from CEC data, that we've seen a pretty big increase in 2020 of the number of people buying residential batteries so that they can continue with their life. We expect that this trend to only continue as these power outages persist. The other thing that's happening in the market is we're going from a situation where you put batteries onto your rooftop, and that can reduce your bill 25 to 50, up to about 80%, depending on the fees. Some folks, depending on the pricing system that they're on, can increase their savings by about 30 to 50% more, but you still haven't gotten all of your bill offset, particularly with the new NEM tariffs that they're considering. The final step here is to actually be able to tap into some of the utility payments by providing what they call non-network alternatives or grid services. And based on this kind of a model, we're seeing the positive payback for battery investments, which will up till now have been really to do things like avoid power outages, but not provide a good return on investment, changing. And with those subsidies, we're seeing a 4 to 5 year payback, not dissimilar to where solar has been recently. So why isn't everybody out there doing storage? And when they are doing storage, what does it look like? Here we have maybe a little bit messier than average. Mark, this might be your home, just because I know you've got a lot of technology out there. But typically when you want to install a storage system, you've also got to install the inverter for the solar system. There'll be the gateway that Tesla requires that you buy. You might have something to manage your load at the same time. Now, our, I guess, claim to fame is we've been working on this for quite some time, and we've got a product we think is going to deal with all of the problems that are associated with this. One is this is really ugly, it's complex, it's really costly. You've got to have somebody come and install this. You've got to have somebody install this. Every time you install, somebody else has to show up. It costs money. You've got to market and sell that product. So Empower Energy was started about 5 years ago when I, based on my background, saw an opportunity in the market. And what we're trying to do is deliver the best value for money storage. We want to be the first company that's able to deliver a cost-effective storage solution where we don't even have to rely on government subsidies. And I'll get into a little bit about how we do that. But we expect everybody basically to have solar and storage. As long as you've got a roof to get solar, it's only a matter of time when it's going to be solar and storage. So the way that we do it is we get rid of all this other stuff. We have an all-in-one box. This is all our own IP. We've designed our hybrid solar inverter, so it does both PV and the battery. We do our own battery management system. We buy modules from Cattle. So basically like AA's, but no intelligence. We add that. And everything else in the box is ours. We don't have a box inside of other boxes. It's a box with some batteries and a PCB. Now, if you want to compare us to Tesla, if you bought a Tesla without subsidies, you've got a 10-year device. It'll take about 11 and a half years to pay back. By having the all-in-one device, we're able to save money here. That reduces the payback by about 2 years. We're able to get grid benefits. Tesla can also do that in their virtual power plants, by the way, but I'm just building up from a basic install. We have intelligence that is actually patented that allows for the system to save you money even when the sun doesn't shine. It can detect when there's not going to be enough sunshine. It pre-charges, particularly on a time of use tariff, and continues to save you money. And then by not having the need for a solar inverter, we reduce that payback as well. And this is how we can get into 5.5-year paybacks, even before we start talking about any sort of grants or subsidies. So if you look at the number 1 and number 2 seller, this is in California, by the way. If you want to buy a Tesla, you then have to buy some kind of solar inverter to power your panels. Now, this is for a customer that doesn't have panels at the moment, and this is really our sweet spot. If you go the LG way, then you need to have a inverter, and then you need to have some kind of controller so that you can provide grid services. So, Mark, I can already anticipate this is not the off-grid solution. If you're off-grid, you can't provide any services to PG&E. This is for grid connected. With our box, you don't need all of that other stuff. You have one install, very elegant, looks great on your wall, and it's as big as Tesla, slightly bigger, and it's cheaper when you when you include the cost of the inverter and the installation, etc. Now, again, we're an overnight success after doing this multiple times. In fact, we did this so long ago in 2016. This was before Powerwall 1. Our original device was lead acid. 2018, we had our first unit, which was EB7. That was a 7 kilowatt-hour solution, all in one. We just finished our EMC, or electromagnetic interference testing, so we're all ready to go. We managed to double the amount of storage, almost double the amount of solar, at the same or lower cost delivered price. And that's what we're taking to market. Now, this is built in Australia. So what we're trying to do is raise money to convert our IP into the UL standard and bring it into California. So we've basically de-risked all this development. We have units, we have manufacturing, but we want to convert so that we can tap into the relatively larger US market. So we're looking for 1 million to raise, and that's going to cover us for 2 years, basically, of converting the product, the testing and certification, and then develop the channels here with the pilots and trials to allow us to sell in California and then the rest of the country. In terms of what we think the numbers could be, if you saw on that previous slide, the market in California right now in 2020 is around 20,000 units, but growing relatively rapidly. We would look to have the product in market, give us a year to develop and get it certified. We'd be looking at modest sales in year 1 of full sales, and then we'd be ramping up from there and moving not just in California, but in the other states as well. Initially, our gross margin, I mean, we believe we can get to a gross margin of 2,000. It's going to take us some time to work up there because of the cost down. But the 2,000, given how much cost we've taken out of the overall product, we think is doable. And I think that was basically all. Last slide, we actually have some people who've done some things before. My background's in consulting, strategy consulting. Utilities pay me money to help them understand where they need to deploy this technology and how to make the most of it. We've got a number of other people, ex-Tesla, ex-CFOs of major utilities, and people that have sold storage before, and an engineering group that have already produced this, the EB7, the EB14, and bringing this into California then under UL certification is, in our view, not terribly risky, just takes resources and time. Questions?
All right, well, thank you very much, Ezra.